This is a video lesson for Module 1, Lesson 9. The Lesson 9 learning target is I can use place value understanding to round multi-digit whole numbers to any place value. So today we're going to be moving away from the vertical number line, which we've been using the last few lessons to round, and we are just going to practice looking at a number and using our understanding of place value to help us round to any place value. Let's go ahead and look at the first example here. The first problem here, I'm going to be rounding the number 18,753 to a few different place values, the 10,000s place, the thousands place, the hundreds place, and also the tens place. So starting at the 10,000s place, the strategy I'm going to use is I'm going to just take a quick look at the 10,000s place, and I see there's a 1 in the 10,000s place. So that helps me figure out if I were to round down, I could think in my head that I would be rounding to 10,000. And if I were to round up, I would go 10,000 more, so I'm thinking in my head of 20,000. So to help me figure out if I'm going to round up or down, I'm going to look at the place value to the right, and I see that there is an 8, so there are 8,000s, and I know that's above the halfway point, so that's much closer to 20,000. So if I were to round 18,753 to the nearest 10,000, I would round it to 20,000. So we can use this similar strategy for each of the different place values. We can look at which digit is in the place value we're rounding to, then look at the digit to the right and help us determine if we're going to round up or down. Let's do the same thing with the thousands place. The thousands place, there is 8 in the thousands place, and I'm going to keep all the numbers that are to the left of the thousands place, so it looks like there's 18 thousands. So if I were to round down, I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to be rounding to 18,000. And 1,000 more, I'm thinking, well, that would be 19,000. So I'm either going to round to 18,000 or 19,000. To help me determine, I'm going to look at the place value to the right. There are 7 hundreds in that hundreds place, so that's a lot closer to 19,000 since it's above the midway point of 18,500. So that means I'm going to be rounding to 19,000. Let's keep it going here with the next place value. We're going to be looking at the hundreds place. So look at the hundreds place. There's a 7 in the hundreds place. I'm going to keep all the digits to the left. So if I was going to round down, it would be 18,700. And 100 more, if I were to round up, it would be 18,800. I look at the place value to my right, and it is a 5. And since it is a 5 or higher, I'm going to round up because it's closer to 18,800. So I'm going to be rounding to 18,800. And the last one here, we're going to be rounding to the nearest 10. So I'm going to use that same strategy, look at the tens place, keep all the digits to the left. So if I round down, it's going to be 18,750. If I round up, it's going to be 18,760, so 10 more. And I look at the place value to the right, it's a 3, so that's a lot closer to 18,750. So I'm going to round down, and I get 18,750. So something that's kind of a little bit of a check on your work is when you're rounding to a specific place value, so in this case the 10,000s place, there should only be digits up to the 10,000s place. So anything past the 10,000s place, as you see here, is a 0. And it's the same for the thousands place, where anything up to or equal to or greater than the thousands place has a digit in it, but anything less is a 0. Same thing for the hundreds place. We have 188 in the hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Anything less than the hundreds place is a 0. And it's also the same thing for the tens place. Anything less than the tens place is a 0. So that's kind of a way you can check to see if you are rounding to the correct place value using that 0 trick if you look at the numbers that you've rounded to. Let's look at another example here to help us get a little bit more practice. We're going to be rounding 147,591 to a few different place values. we're going to use that same strategy as we used before, where we look at the place value we're rounding to in our number, and then look at the place value to the right to help us determine if we're going to be rounding up or down. So this time I look at the hundred thousands place. I see there's a 1 in the hundred thousands place. So if I round down, I'm going to keep that 1 the same, and if I round up, it's going to be 100,000 more. So I look to my place value to the right, and it's a 4, so that lets me know that I'm going to be rounding down. So I get 100,000 as the closest 100,000. So 100,000 is closer to this number than 200,000. All right, next place value is the 10,000s place. I look at the place 10,000s place, and I have a 4 in the 10,000s place. I'm going to keep everything to the left, so there are 14 10,000s. To help me determine if I'm going to round up or down, I'm going to look at the place value to the right. It's a 7, and so that's going to be closer to the next highest 10,000. So in that case, I'm going to be rounding up to 150,000 versus 140,000. So once again, I'm checking using that zero trick I just talked about earlier. I'm checking to see if I've rounded to the correct place value. I go to 10,000s place here, and there should be only digits up to the 10,000s place, and then zeros after that. Next place value is the thousands place, and so, oops, erased part of my number there. I'll rewrite that. So I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm going to take a look at the thousands place here. So I have 147 thousandths here, keeping everything to the left of the place value I'm rounding to. So if I round down, it's going to be to 147. If I round up, it'll be 148,000. I look to the place value to the right. It's a 5. Anything 5 or greater, I'm going to round up. So the closest 1,000 is 148,000. I check to see if I'm rounding to the correct spot. I have digits in everything that's equal to or greater than the thousands place, and zeros for anything that's less. Let's keep it moving here with the next place value, which is the hundreds place. Keep using that same strategy. I have a 5 in the hundreds place. I'm going to keep everything to the left here. So if I round up, that hundreds place is going to be turned into a 6. If I round down, it's going to stay a 5. I look at the place value to the right. It's a 9, so I'm going to be rounding up. 147,600. I check, and everything less than the hundreds place is a 0. So it looks like I'm in the right spot. And last but not least, the tens place. I'm going to keep on using that same strategy. I'm going to look at the digit in the tens place. It's a 9. And that helps me determine if I'm going to round down, it'll stay the same. If I round up, it'll go up by 1. I look at the place value to the right. It's a 1, so I'm going to be rounding down. So I'm going to keep everything to the left of the tens place the same. And since I'm rounding down, that 9 is going to stay the same, and the ones place becomes a 0. I check to see if I've rounded to the correct spot. There are digits, everything up to the tens place, and everything less than the tens place is a 0. So that helps me determine that I have indeed correctly rounded to the tens place. So that does it for Module 1, Lesson 9. So hopefully you're feeling pretty comfortable about rounding to all different place values without using a vertical number line. So you should be able to answer any of the questions on the Lesson 9 problem set. But as always, if you get stuck or need a little refresher, you can come back and rewatch any part of the video for a little bit of a refresher. So good luck with the problem set, and thanks for watching.